Non. Non, attends, on n'a pas fini. Je suis pas prêt, moi.
Moi, je suis
Reviens en arrière.
Ça dès qu'il doit dire hello, hello, hello.
No, no, wait. No, you're so into it. Give me some time. Give me some time. Off. I guess this is the good one, right? We have, I guess, not only we're on, we have the microphones on. Let's do the audio test first, right? Can you hear us? I guess my sound is better now. So, do you hear us? Can you hear me? This is a moment where you tell me yes.
Or no. Or nothing if they don't hear you, so that they cannot reply to your question, basically.
We'll know soon. There is a little bit of delay. Let's see when people start reacting to this. If they don't react, then we have to check why people are not reacting. Why are people not having the audio? Do you have the audio?
It seems that yes.
Yes.
Hello,
Andrea says that we can hear. They can hear. Okay, this is good. Okay then. Well, thank you for being here today for this product meetup. I don't know how many we did in the past. Well, who cares? We keep doing these anyway. 6,
I don't know.
10, 20. No one knows.
I think we started a year ago, almost a year ago.
You think?
Yeah, maybe we should do we should check that and do a special for the
anniversary.
For the first anniversary edition.
Right.
We send the slide in limited editions.
So we have a few people here. Hi, Jed. I see Lucy there. I see Andrea and Mary. Let's start with the usual question. Okay, where are you watching us from? I like this question. Get us started. We know where people are coming from.
How did you like the music?
Sounded like you like the music. Okay, why not? So which city, which country you're watching us from? I guess it's a good thing. Let me admit something. Okay, let's start with honesty. I like to start with honesty. Let's start with honesty. I'm really, really, really tired today. So I guess you can see it. You will see it on my face throughout the whole thing. And you might wonder why am I tired? I thought I woke up. I thought today is Friday, but it's not. It's not Friday. So we have 2 days to go. So we have. Okay. So we have Christina from Berlin. We have LA. We have another time Los Angeles, and then we have London. We have Portland, USA. We have Paris. No, I don't believe you, Lucy. You're not from Hawaii. And then we have Scotland. Thank you for watching us from Scotland. That's really good. I love Scotland. Here's Angelo from Paris. I understand that now. So Angelo is up there. You're not sleeping, Angelo. I thought you did the video so that you can sleep, but you did the video and you're here. Thank you for being here. No. Basically, Jed, what Lucy did is she gave the answer of Angelo, and Angelo gave the answer of Lucy. So they switch answers. So today we have, we talked, probably you received the email. I don't know if people received the newsletter email where we told you that we're going to talk about the invisible change or the invisible progress, right?
Any of them.
Yeah, we have Andre Gomez from Brazil.
Nice.
This is nice. Brazil. I'm half asleep, so Angelo says. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. You'll look much more awake in the video, I guess.
Sadex is also half asleep. So
yeah, I'm half asleep as well. We are in the same situation. We have someone from Netherlands. I'm sorry for you guys. I don't know if you watch football or not, but you're out of the Euro. I'm sorry for that. I love Netherlands. I wanted so much Netherlands to go further, but didn't happen. Well, France either, so I don't laugh so much. Actually, Renault was actually in Romania. Where was it?
Bucharest.
Bucharest. So you watched the game, right?
Yeah. Big party before the game. Big pain after the game.
Big pain after and big pain and party after the game,
no,
right?
Not party.
No party. No, you slept like sad and all. By the way, for the football, soccer in that case. People who don't have context nowadays, there is the Euro competition that is going, and it's a big thing in Europe, and France is out. Everyone was thinking that France will be the one that will win. Actually, they did the good matches, but they are out anyway. So too much for France.
Yes. But not too much for any country. But there is also...
Ukraine is in too. Yes, Ukraine is in.
Still in.
Are you from Ukraine? So, what was I saying? What's the trip, Lord? Lucy is making fun of you. What's the trip?
I will get a haircut for free thanks to that. So I'm saving some money.
Why you will get a haircut? Oh yeah, okay, I remember. So that's so you had a bet with Francois.
Yeah.
That if France is out, you will shave your hairs.
Yep.
And you didn't.
Not yet.
You're going to.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Like seriously, shave.
Shave.
No, that's what he said. No. He said
no. We
shave.
didn't bait for shave. I will not have a neck like a complete leg, bald, just shaving. But that's already painful for me. So
already painful for you. I'd like to see you there. We just do it before the next meetup. Maybe that will be even better.
But some people propose that we'll do it during the meetup. But I don't.
That will take a long time. Anyway, who cares about soccer? No one, right? Well,
I do.
We do. Anyways, so we talked about the invisible progress, and what does that mean? Is that I realized that since we talked about the fact that we raised VC money, we raised money, right? And we talked about it last time. I guess everyone was there. Everyone knows about the content. If someone wasn't there, you can ask us questions, and I'm happy to answer the questions. So basically, with that money, we need to invest and do a lot of things. But I realized that a lot of things that we are spending so much energy on are not going to be visible for now, because mostly they are about how can we bring the company into this kind of state, this kind of structure, this kind of place where we can then scale, right, and add more team, more features, more stuff, and that's going to take quite a few months. So I noticed that there's a lot of that that's going on that is not visible, and it made sense. This is our focus, and often the product meetup kind of represent what's happening actually in the company. So I thought okay, this time it could be about the invisible progress. What is the progress that we're doing behind the scene to get the company and the product in the place where we want to get it? Does it make sense? So we have a first question for you, other than where you're coming from. Can you put the question that we have?
I don't know if it's on the screen or not.
Yeah, we don't have it on the screen right yet. So the question is,
What should we do with the 20?
yes. So we have $20 million. What do you think we should be doing with that? There is A, put everything on what?
On the black at Vegas.
At Vegas. So we go to Vegas. Okay, that's a choice. B, buy 200 Teslas. I don't know. Tesla has always been a topic for spending money. I don't know why, but anyway.
That's Arnaud's topic, yeah.
C, maybe you want to talk about C?
Yeah, pay Mbappe to train on shooting only penalty for a year. Like that's almost a yearly salary for Mbappe. So I think we could get him, put it in the backyard there, and get him to train just on shooting.
And D, spend it on NFTs. Seems people would like to invest money on NFTs. We put all the money on NFTs. E, other, and then you have to. You please tell me which ones you choose in that case. So what do you suggest? Where should we be spending money on? I see that Anne-Marie chooses A, which is put everything on black at Vegas. Okay, let's go. I guess imagine our I guess I don't know if it's Nicola and Alexandra are watching.
Connecting.
They'll be scared, I guess. Oh no. So we have Kevin who sees C. Seems Kevin has a little bit of context on what's going on with the euro. And Alex is asking, why does Rono have hair? He's going to do it. So you will see him, Alex. You will see him in the next.
Which Alex?
Alex Trost.
Okay. So it's coming soon. Like probably on Friday for the meeting, I will not have them anymore.
Okay, well, I guess we will invest it in neither of these, in something else, right? So basically, the idea is there are several things where, let me see,
what?
I know I'm just looking at the answers. Think of the possibilities. What is it about? Anyway, so.
Yeah, we are planning to invest it in other places, most likely in developing the product, developing the community, giving you like all the tools so that you can succeed in building projects with Prismic, giving you the best support and the best care that we can, and deliver all the features that you need and that makes sense, like the one that will bring the most value to you, and that's how we'll go about it.
Yeah, and don't hesitate to continue. We we'll be presenting our plans and stuff and progress in this meetup, so you can you'll hear a lot about what we're going through. But I was looking again, as I told you, that this is so there are stuff that we're doing in the architecture to make our product scale.
Yep.
So like to support more, and that's an important part. There's a part that we're doing on our open source strategy and open source projects.
Yep.
There's an important part there, and there is a part of the organization that we're going to talk about by the end.
That's well, you went over like the whole meetup basically. So yeah, during this presentation and during this meetup, what we'll do is that we'll present the strategy on open source, and it will be Angelo from Away that will present all that. Angelo, we talked about him, and you most likely know him. He was taking care of the Gatsby kit, the Gatsby plugin that was created for Prismic, and joined the team a few months ago. And he will present to you like all the stuff that is ongoing on this matter. So quite some changes that are not the most visible changes that we talk about, but really important in terms of your experience while creating websites with Prismic. We'll talk about architecture and mostly the API just after. So also a lot of changes that are coming that are already released for some. That are not the most visible changes because like not the sexiest new feature that you see on the interface, but very important changes. And then we'll talk about organization.
Lucy is suggesting to hire for the organization a chief casino officer, CCO. That could work. So what do you want to start from?
Usually what we start from is that we present some websites made with Prismic and from the community, because every time we have some inspiring content coming from the community and inspiring websites. So I selected 2 this month. I will go about it quickly. I like them both. The first one, and yeah, don't hesitate to share your website done with Prismic on the hashtag made with Prismic. We are happy every time to see what people are doing with the product and what they are creating basically.
Yeah, it's really inspiring to see what people do that, and then it inspires us, and it inspires the community as well. So it's really cool.
So the first one is the website presenting Angel bike. It's Angel is like a new electric bike that was created in France, so a French product. Very very nicely done, and both the product and both the website are very very nicely done. Using slices heavily, creating very very inspiring content with really nice animation. That's a pretty well known founder in France that created this company. He hired like the best designer to work both on the website and on the bike itself. So I encourage you to look at the website. I really like the design myself. I really like the animation that there are on it. They do a pretty inspiring and good use of slicer also to present content. So really, I advise you to check it out. It's really really interesting.
Okay.
And I did a full French selection this month.
No.
Yes.
No. There are way more than just French people on Prismic. Come on.
I know.
By the way, I keep telling it, but it's very important for me. Is that Prismic is very international in the way that we do make business. You know, the revenue that we have, it comes from all around the world. There's a third that comes from the USA. A third of our revenue comes from the USA, and I keep saying it. And our team is as well very, we are an international team, so we have people from all around the world. I don't know how many countries today, maybe 20 different countries. That's very important. So French selection, if we're doing French selection this time, I guess next time it should be no French at all.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that. So this one is also very interesting. It's Nicolas Feuillat, so champagne brand, very luxury product that is presenting like this champagne like again with a very nice and interesting use of slices connected to a product catalog from PrestaShop, like doing landing pages, doing a very inspirational content around the brand, like a really really nice website. Like you should check it out too. It's a very interesting showcase on how you could use Prismic for e-commerce website, presenting product, enriching the product, doing nice inspirational stories. So again, I strongly advise you to have a look. Okay. So as I was telling you, like don't hesitate to share any website that you made with Prismic on the with the made with Prismic hashtag on the chat or on Twitter. We love to see every time the different stuff that you produce and that you create. Like it's very inspiring. Might help us also in terms of inspiration to build our own website in the future. Like this always gives ideas. So yeah, feel free to do it. We really like it. So continue to do that, please.
Cool. So I guess next we want to talk about what we're doing in open source on the kits, on even like a little bit Slice Machine. I guess the person that is going to talk about this recorded a video. It's Angelo. So basically, Angelo joined us like, what is it, a few months ago?
Yeah, a couple of months ago.
A couple of months ago, and boom, like so many things are happening, right? Like right now, like Angelo is all over the place. Like we see him in comments, in what is it?
He's in RFC,
RFCs,
he's doing some kits, he's involved in the partnership.
Doing a lot of presentations, so it's really, really all over the place. Thank you, Angelo, for being so active and doing so much effort. And we thought like it's a good idea to have him present to you what his strategy and what he's doing about this.
And that goes along like on the, like we said, the invisible progress that we are doing internally. A couple of months ago, like a year ago, we started to dedicate a team on developer experience. This team like is really involved in animating the community, but also creating tools. And that was something that we wanted to do for quite some time. On like we always had a challenge on managing how do we manage open source and how do we manage product, how do we manage progress on both. And thanks to structuration and the founding and everything, we were able to dedicate team and way more power into providing the best tool for your development into open source kits, and etc. etc. So Noah, Lucy, Alex, Nick, and Angelo are doing a huge work on that at the moment, and so we thought it was a great way also to present the changes by giving some spot to Angelo to present you all the changes that he's doing at the moment.
I have a quick question here. I don't know, I don't understand it completely, but Christina is saying, I feel like developers should receive more training, n'est-ce pas? So I don't understand. Like, do you think like you're talking about developers in the company, developers where? Which developers? Your developers, like developers that you're working with? Would like a little bit of clarification to understand what do you mean by that, and I'm happy to answer this question. And Samuel gives us heart eyes on the DevExp team that we're building. Yeah, we're very proud of this. We're very proud of. Now I'm going to say names, and
I said all the names.
You said,
so
you're good.
You're tired, so don't start that.
No, I know them all: Alex, Nick, Lucy, and Angelo.
You miss Noah, but yeah.
Noah, of course, on top of that. Noah is in front of me there. So let's go maybe for let's go for the video.
Prismic. And here I focus. Hi, my name is Angelo. I'm on the developer experience team at Prismic. And here I focus on Gatsby, but also just the general JavaScript ecosystem. So today I'm going to actually talk to you about some of the updates that we've been doing in the JavaScript world. Over the past month, we've actually been looking at all of our JavaScript libraries and doing a lot of updates to them, and in some cases even rewriting them. So I'm just going to go through basically everything that we've been doing over the past month, and hopefully you'll get excited about what we're going to be delivering. Okay, so some of the goals that we had when we were looking at these libraries is, one, they have to be 100% TypeScript. I know a lot of people have been asking for that. We also wanted to make sure that the APIs themselves were much simpler. We also want smaller bundles. As you use all these libraries, they really add up pretty quickly. And we also want built-in documentation, which comes in with that TypeScript integration. So the first library that we looked at is our REST API client. First thing we did was we cleaned up the API, then we made it more flexible, and then lastly we added in a bunch of new helper methods. So this is actually something that you can use out right now and try out. It's in alpha, and so you can install it using the command that's on your screen right now. Next library we worked on, this is a new one. It's called Prismic.io/types. This is just a collection of TypeScript types that you can use within your project. This is mainly used in our libraries, but you can definitely use it in your project to type your documents and their fields. This as well is in alpha, and you can install it today and use. Next, we've been looking at our helpers library. First major change we made was merging in Prismic DOM. So Prismic DOM, if you don't know, is a way to render rich text documents into HTML. And so that's now part of the helpers library. We've also made the conversion of rich text to HTML a lot simpler by letting you provide an object for each type of element rather than having to write a function. So this new version is in alpha, and you can install it in your project and try it out. Next, which is related, is our rich text library. So most users won't be touching this directly, so I won't go too much in depth here, but basically just know that anytime you render a rich text document using these libraries, it's going to be 40 times faster, and the bundle itself will be 60% smaller. So pretty much everyone's going to benefit from this. So an alpha for this is in the works right now, and once that's ready for everything, then it's automatically going to be updated in helpers and the React library and basically anything that you're using with rich text. Next, we're looking at our React library. So this is actually in the RFC stage, or request for comments. So the actual library hasn't been written yet, and there is no alpha version you can try. but we do have a full document explaining what we plan to do with this library. So in this RFC, we've described more components that we want to have integrated into the library, things like a slice zone component, a Prismic link component, and an updated rich text component as well. So if you go to that link, it's a GitHub issue. You can read through some of the ideas we have, and you can provide any kind of feedback, whether it's something that you like that you see on there, or if you have an idea of what we can integrate. Okay, and then the next RFC we have is for Prismic.io/next, and this is the Next.js integration with Prismic. So for this, again, it's not written yet, just open for comments, but our goal here is to really have a really idiomatic Next.js integration. Basically, just small helpers to let you fetch documents and set up previews. So if you go into that issue on GitHub, it'll go into detail of everything that we have planned there. So again, if you're a Next.js user, please read it and let us know what you think. So as I told you, I am focusing on Gatsby here at Prismic. So here's a pretty large update that we can share today. So we've had version 4 beta for our Gatsby source Prismic integration. It's been open for the past, I think, like 4 or 5 weeks now. And we've had a lot of users trying it out and providing a lot of good feedback. If you haven't had a chance to try it out yet, then please try it on your existing projects, or if you're starting a new one, you can try it out. Some of the major features that are available now is official Gatsby plugin image integration. And then a big one for a lot of people is that we can automatically fetch your schemas in your project now. So you don't have to go into the Prismic editor and copy and paste your JSON custom types anymore. So it's a big win. So yeah, you can install it using the npm command on your screen. Basically, it's just the beta tag that you can try out. And then on top of that, we have a new plugin called Gatsby Plugin Prismic Previews. This is specifically for previews in client side of your website. And this will enable things like live previews with Prismic, as well as previewing releases, which you couldn't do before. So this is a brand new plugin. I do encourage you to install this into your website and give it a try. There are a lot of new features in there, and too much to talk about in here. But if you go to the GitHub page for Gatsby source Prismic, you'll see a link for this document as well, and you can read through it and understand what it is. But this is also available in beta, and we hope to publish these for the full version very shortly. So just an overview, different stages that we have here. So we have the RFC stage, which is just requesting feedback from the community, and that's with our React and Next.js libraries right now. And then we have alpha versions that anyone can try out and provide feedback. That's for the REST API client, the TypeScript types, the helpers library, and then the lower level rich text library, which that last one you probably won't be using, but yeah. And then lastly, we have our beta stage, and that's with our Gatsby plugins right now. So beta meaning that it's pretty much production ready, but if you can try it out in your projects and let us know if something breaks, let us know now so we can fix it before we make it available to everyone. And that's it. So I hope to see you on GitHub. Go ahead and read those RFCs, try out the new libraries, any kind of comments or bug fixes, let us know on GitHub and we'll try to get those working. Thanks.
So I hope you enjoyed the video that Angelo did. There, quite a few changes there, and we'll keep working on this. This is just the beginning. There are so many things that we want to do on the open source side. We've talked about, there are even bigger projects that we want to, we know that there's also Slice Machine that is open source, and there are other things that we're going to open source as well. So a lot of things there. So keep tuned in about that.
But but like I wanted to. Give a big shout out to Angelo that did with the team a massive work on those different kits. Like I know that some elements like the new Gatsby plugin was really expected by a lot of people. Like the new features plus the preview. Like there is like an impressive amount of new features and improvement that will improve the overall workflow of everyone. Being a developer that will create a project with Gatsby, or an editor that will be able to now have the preview on the Gatsby website, like those are very important changes that will bring a lot of value. But yeah, as you said, a lot of stuff. We also try to change the organization to go to this direction, like opening RFC, getting comments, engaging the different people from our community that are interested in those changes, so that we can get feedback as early as possible. We can involve you in the process of designing those tools. That's also a massive change that we are doing at the moment on our side. It's like organizing for this, and from since we started, we see only good things coming from this. So we'll double down on it and improve our connection to open source project.
Yeah. So I would like to go to not related exactly to open source, but I would like to go back to the question that we had from Christina. She gave a little bit more details about it. So it's like developers will sell us Prismic as a tool, but seem to struggle to make quite a few things to work. We as an organization feel a bit limited with the site, but when I see other sites, it looks much more impressive. So from a user experience, we feel slightly restricted, although we love the front end look. So it would be great if overall developer features upgrade across all backend systems and not just up to developers to implement. So again, we need a little bit more details about this, because you need to be concrete. Like maybe like tell us what are the things that you feel you're lacking, or what are the things that you're struggling with, like more concretely, like, and we can help you with that. Like, imagine like, okay, they developed some pages, but then we don't have the flexibility to develop more pages than these, or like to have more flexibility in the pages. Then maybe the developers that you're working with can like provide you with slices and sections, because when they provide you with slices, they will allow you to mix and match and make more pages, as many as you want, right? This is one of the things. Maybe I don't know if you were working with freelancers. I mean, we have some documentation. We're investing. This is a good idea. We're investing with more resources of how to do stuff, and give example of sections. I know that also Alex Trost, he runs several streams actually that go through pretty fun, so they're enjoyable as well to my eyes. I really like watching them. But he goes through different ways of like implementing stuff on the web, and featuring sometimes SVG, sometimes some animations and all these kind of things. So I think that's a good resource to follow. We will provide more documentation. But if you need something to understand something specific, well, either like you can tell us more details, Christina, or you can we can also, if you want to suggestions, we can give you suggestions of agencies or freelancers that we work with, and you can try to work with these people. So let us know more, and we will love to help you. So what did you have next?
Talk about the API.
You want to talk about the API?
What do you want?
Because
to talk about?
it's now that's good for me. Is it an invisible progress? If it's not, then we should not.
It's
talk about it.
Kind of invisible.
Kind of invisible. So go ahead. So what is it about the API that you want to talk about?
Okay. So I wanted to talk about different changes that we are doing at the moment, and that we are releasing also at the moment. So like stuff that we are doing now, stuff that we are releasing now, stuff that will be released in the near future. The thing about the API is that it's a technical subject, kind of complex. So I will try to give you a bit of context. I did it 3 months ago, where I went through the architecture with Sadek. We explained you how it works, etc. So I might repeat some of the concepts that you heard, but it's necessary for the introduction, basically, of the changes that we are bringing and the updates that we are bringing.
So go ahead,
and I go.
Put some context into it, and then we will talk about the new stuff in it.
Cool. Okay, so 3 months ago, we talked about a project that's called API isolation, that is really important internally and in Prismic.
Does anyone here, I don't know, remember us talking about API isolation? Does it ring a bell? You can tell us if you remember anything about that. Maybe someone remembers everything about that.
We asked basically at the time what was we talked about the problem by asking you what was the the most CPU and memory intensive job for when you do a query to the API. We made some people win some stuff answering this question, and the question was basically rendering the JSON. It's not obvious. Like a lot of people answered a different answer, but what you have to know is that basically this part of just rendering the JSON and parsing it is what basically is the most costly in terms of power on our side.
Let me maybe explain a little bit why you will rendering JSON in the API takes so much. And I see that there are more precisions from Christina, and there is a question from Anne-Marie. We'll go back to this by the end of the
Q&A.
You know, by the on the Q&A section. So anyway, so why rendering JSON is so costly, right? You should imagine, like, if you're doing a query to Prismic, you will send us some kind of a chain of characters that you tell us what you want to get, right? And then we'll do some kind of query to the database, and we fetch a whole bunch of JSON, right? It might be, I don't know, a certain size, okay? Big, small, whatever it is, okay? Now that JSON comes in a specific format that we, put in the database, and we need to transform it into the JSON that you expect. They are not the same format, and there are good reasons why not to have the same format, because there is an internal format that serves a lot of purposes, and there is the one that you receive, right? So we need to transform the JSON. And when you say you transform the JSON, you know what it means is that first you receive, how do you receive as a machine? Okay, how do you receive the JSON? You just receive it as what we call byte array, right? This is the format. The machine gives you a byte array, and that could have, let's say, the size 100 whatever, okay? So 100, the size of the byte array. That you need to transform into a string, because you need to transform it into a string of characters. That makes it so now you have a second copy of the 100 in the memory, and you have to transform the 100 byte array into the 100 of a string. After that, you need to transform it into the JSON format that you can read and you can interact with. That makes another copy of that thing, and a bigger size because the representation is more sophisticated, so that's another copy. But we're not done yet, because that is an internal representation. Now you need to read it, so that will be another copy, and now you need to transform it. What does it mean to transform it? Well, you want to write a new JSON object that itself should go and be transformed to a string, and from that string to a byte array. So you go the other way around. Now imagine how many times did you copy and transform that JSON? A lot of times. And that's why even a small JSON will take a long time for doing all these transformations. So the problem of performance, memory, or all of that comes from the fact that there are so many times that you have absolutely to copy this JSON, right? You have to transform it into a structure, read a lot inside it, and then transform it back to some kind of other format. Now, I didn't even talk about when you want to do queries, like what is it? GraphQL query, GraphQL query, or fetch links or anything like that. Then you have even to read more and structure more and all of these kind of things. And that's why the rendering is the heavy part of our API. I don't know if it makes sense, but this is the idea.
And it translates into a simple problem for you at the end, is that basically, since we are a mutualized platform, since basically a lot of people are using Prismic today, when you are doing a small request to the API, like the API will respond fast. That's normal because it needs a few CPU and memory. When you do a big one, it will take more time. But the real problem is that since you are using the same machine, when someone is doing a big query and someone is doing a small query, then basically the big requests are slowing down the small request, and that's a problem that we wanted to fix. So how did we do that? The solution was to basically, for each query, provide a dedicated machine that will perform this job of parsing and rendering the JSON, so that when you do a small request, it's fast. You're not impacted by the big request.
Okay. Remember, this is just the context. We're remaking the whole context of why we did what is API isolation. Basically, we said not only every user gets a machine, every single query gets a different machine, so that you don't have to share any resources, so that if your query is big and will take more time, you're not going to impact another query that's happening the same time, even from your own website. So that first, if you want to improve things, first you need to get stability. Stability comes from isolation. Once you have isolation, you have stability, and then you can go and optimize stuff.
And the thing is that today, most of the Prismic repository are on this new architecture. When we talked about it in March, it was a project, it was starting. Now it's like everyone is on it. And the thing is that it's not only will not stop just at that. So I'll detail what are the next steps for the API for us. Since, as Sadek said, we now have stability and we have isolation, we are able to basically improve way more the API and improve way more those processes. So what you need to know and what you need to understand when you use Prismic is that that's also something that I said last time, but you don't use the Prismic API by saying, hey, just give me the homepage content. The way you call the Prismic API is that you say, give me the homepage content for a specific version of the API. Because we have a mechanism internally that is that anytime someone publishes content in Prismic, we create some kind of ID of the new version of the API.
You know, like imagine it, and I guess a lot of people know about releases, and I don't know, you tell us if you don't know about it, but just there are releases, right? And you can imagine them as Git branches or something like that. So we have this kind of, you need to specify which branch you want us to serve you of the API. We have different branches. Like when you package together a release, that's a different ID than, for instance, another release or the master version or a preview. Like
exactly.
When I preview something, it's a different branch than when you preview something, Renaud, right?
That's exactly that, and that serves a lot of purpose. So as you said, previewing in isolation, so meaning Sadek is doing some changes in the homepage, he can preview his changes while I'm doing changes for, I don't know, a release in 2 days or 3 days. I can preview my changes without being impacted by Sadek's changes. But it also has a very interesting property that I will detail later about cache. So basically, when you do a query to Prismic, you do two queries. What you do first is that your application will call the Prismic repository to get what we call the master ref. It's the ID of the latest published version of the API. And then do a second query saying, give me the home page for this specific master ref. And then the Prismic API sends you back the content. I hope it makes sense. Please let us know in the chat if not. So how does it translate as a schema? Is like, okay, you say first, give me the last master ref. The Prismic API will tell you the latest master ref is this one, and then you do a second query that says, give me the home page for the master ref, the one that the API sends you back. Why is it important in terms of caching? Is that the second time someone close to your location will do the same call, like give me the home page for the master ref 1838 dot up. We can cache this response in Europe, for example, and the next time someone do the same call, they will not have to do the whole way from Europe to the US to get the master ref plus to get the home page. It will just be cached, and the response will be way faster to get to the user. So now, what does it bring? It brings a very good efficiency in terms of caching. We talked about it last time. We have 90% of cache for any document that was cached, and so that was called before. But we have a problem though, is that every time you do a query to get the master ref, you need to go all the way to the US so that you are able to get the master
to a specific place in the US, right? To the East Coast, right, of the US. So if like even if you are in the West Coast, then you have to pay that round trip to the the query to the East Coast and back, right?
Yeah, and since
if you're not just close to the East Coast, then you have to pay this round trip.
Exactly, and for a query like this critical, like getting the master ref that you need to do almost every time you do a query, it's a lot of latency. It can be a problem. On top of that, not everyone is coming from the US. Okay.
Or the East Coast.
So we do have a question for you if you want to get a swag pack. The first one that will find the chat, the percentage of people of API query coming from the US will win a swag pack. Sadek gave a hint at the beginning of the
I did, right?
presentation. Yeah,
Mm.
it's not exactly this number for the API calls, but you gave a hint. So please in the chat let us know what you think. We'll give you the answer and then we'll continue.
So the question is, what's the percentage of queries coming to our API from the United States? If you answer this, if you get the right number first, then you get
Swags.
a swag pack, right?
What's
A
in
swag
the swag
pack.
pack? Noah?
What is in the swag pack?
A sweatshirt,
And there's a tote bag.
a tote bag,
And there's stickers.
stickers or sticker? Because like
Stickers.
BV
Stickers.
sticker.
Stickers.
And the mug or not?
And the quoi?
The mug?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay.
So the question is, the percentage of queries coming to our API from the United States. 40%, Jed says. Close, but less. Fred says 28%. And Marie says 52. Gotterbach says 60%. No, too high, Gotterbach. 38%, Colby says.
But I think we have the answer.
James, sorry?
I think we have the answer already.
We have what?
We have the answer, I think.
No, not exactly the answer. Close to the answer.
No,
you
I
mean.
think we have the answer.
You have an answer? 30%, James
Tell me.
Clark saying.
Tell me, Fix.
Like-
You know.
Exactly the answer? Like there are no fractions or stuff?
No, I removed the fraction. It's too.
No,
complicated.
people could come closer with a fraction, you know? You removed it in the
Yeah.
slide. Okay. So you already have an answer, you think.
I think. Let me check.
Re-
Wait.
Let me check on the thing, on the chat.
So I said we have 40%, 28%, 52, 60, 38, 34, 35, 22, 43, 47. Angel.
Actually, I'm not sure I understood everything. Well, this one is what?
28.
Okay, so we have a winner.
So 28 is the winner. Fred, you got it. 28% of our API requests are coming from the United States. It's a big number. It's as I told you in the beginning when I started, I was saying like a third of our revenue. I wasn't talking about
The API.
the API calls, but seems it's compatible. So almost a third of our API calls as well are coming from the United States.
And so that's important. What's happening?
No, Angela, it's like 45.32. Now you need to try with the 28, right? You can give fractions there.
Like boy. Okay, we have this number somewhere on Drive or whatever. So some people from Prismic should have win this one, but yeah.
No, we exclude them. They cannot win. So Fred, you got it. 28. That was the second answer.
And the thing is that it's good, it's important, but at the end, it means that 72% of the query that are made to our API, like, it's problematic in a sense because like the location is really not that close from the users.
It's really far. When you're in Europe or in Australia or in Asia, you're paying this round trip just for the first request, right? When give me the API version, that you're paying the round trip, and since it's a query that you have to do in
for
every
query,
time.
yeah.
When it's cache, it's fine, but when you have changes, then you have to do this query, which means you have to pay this. So we thought like, okay, we need to optimize for this, and not only for these people. Like again, people on the West Coast could have the same
Did
problem
it,
of that delay, and we will be able to optimize for these people as well.
So we decided to replicate the masterf endpoints. All those endpoints are not the right one. We chose to decide to start with one, and I wanted to ask another question, if you know. But in your opinion, what's the second country doing the most query to our API? Is it France? Is it China? Is it the UK? Is it Australia? What's it? What's the one?
So that there is also a pack, a
Let's
swag
go for
pack
it.
on it. Yeah. So what's the second country after the US? So So the US is the first one. Okay, wow, this is interesting. Okay, so what's the second country in number of queries that is done to our API? Is it France? Is it China? Is it United Kingdom? Is it Australia? I see Gotterback saying like, what about the second biggest? Well, now we gave you an opportunity to answer another question, which will make you win. So try your best on this one. You have A, B, C, or D. We'll give you a little bit time to.
The first one.
To answer?
The first one that finds it, like, and you have
The first one.
you have one shot. Like if you do A, B, C, D, not working. Like in
No,
the
yeah,
chat.
only one. Well, the first answer. The
Yeah.
first answer you give. Yeah, right. So we have a few answers. Yeah, Fred is saying that the number was completely random. He didn't try to guess it or anything. Like, wow, random number. He came up with a random number. It was exact. So there were like 100 possibilities, basically.
Yeah.
And you got it. 1 on 100. That's
Right.
impressive.
Lucky.
So I see James is going for C, Australia.
No, C, UK.
Are you Australian?
C is
James?
UK.
C is UK, sorry. And Colby is going for D, Australia. And then we have Mark going for UK. And Marie for A, which is France. And then we have C, A. A lot of people talking about A, France. Okay, a lot of people think that France is the second country where queries come from. What do you think?
It's not.
It's not. What the answer? What is the answer?
It's United Kingdom
So the United Kingdom. Who won? Let's see who won.
with 21%. So close, in a sense.
Is the number C? No. Yeah, C.
It's C.
Okay, James, you're the winner. James Clark, you are the winner here, right?
Congrats.
So yeah, United Kingdom again, very interesting. So by the way, reminder: we are a French. We are based in France, right?
Yep.
I mean, we have people all around the world, but we're based in France. But our first country is the United States, and the second is the United Kingdom.
The third is Australia.
Third is Australia.
Yeah.
Okay. Where France stands on all of that?
Far.
We don't even sell our own product in France. What is that? That's why your selection was about French coffee. You want to kind of promote it in France.
Compensate. Yeah. But so, in order to solve this issue, what we are launching in beta starting today is the fact that we are replicating this master ref endpoint. So if you are located in Europe, basically, we are opening in beta a new feature that will allow you to get like a master ref way closer to you, so reduce a lot the latency, improve drastically the response time, because basically every time you will be able to get, you will be looking for getting your master ref, you will go to London, and then it will be just as close as you as possible as you. Then when you try to get cached data and cached content, so it will be very, very fast. What we see is that in our benchmark is that when people do request in Europe for getting this master ref with the new with this new endpoint, it divides the response time by more than 2, and that's a very, very interesting optimization that all of you will be able to get at some point, but we are rolling it out in beta as we do. So if you are interested in that, please let us know and we'll activate it for you.
So let me remind you that if we activate it for you, there is basically nothing that you have to do.
Nothing.
Like just we enable it, you get it. Period. Right?
Right.
So if you're interested in seeing it working on your API, on your system, on your website, then ask us and we will enable it, and then you will see that will have an impact. The impact of having an endpoint that is much closer to the location of the server that is serving. Like if your server is in the Europe and
or your client
West Coast, or
client if it's a client.
If it's a client-based app, right? Yes. All right. What's next we have here?
What's next? Okay, so
actually we're
Okay.
out of time now. So
Okay.
it's 7, but we still will keep here a few other minutes. We have some questions, and by the way, you can ask more questions about anything you want. Doesn't have to be on the topic, and I'm very happy with Wano to answer it. So this is a time for your questions, and then we'll take them in a few minutes. Okay.
And so I want to take just 1 minute to talk about what we are working on
Yes.
the other changes for the API because it's coming and it will be the focus for the next weeks, probably next month. We'll be able to talk about it in the meetup. But now the focus about the API, because we are investing a lot in it, is to continue to optimize and the parsing and the rendering so that you get even better response time. It's the main priority for the team working on the API and working on architecture and scalability. We are working on, since we isolated all those processes and that we are sure that they are stable now, what we are working on is basically optimizing those response times so that you can get the best performance possible with our API, that you get fastest response time possible, and that's the main priority for us at the moment. Okay, so we talked about changes that are not very visible for you.
Just
but
yeah,
important.
this is just I was thinking about it. Sorry, I was into my thoughts. But the thing is, like, these optimizations that we do for you is, you get them basically for free.
free.
As in, you should not optimize your app. You should not optimize anything. The moment we roll them out, then you have them, right? And
Exactly.
this is really cool. This is one of the, I mean, it is supposed to be one of the most important advantages of a SaaS platform, software as a service, is that you get the updates and you don't have to touch to anything. The updates are happening. You refresh the page and you get the update. And these optimizations, you'll be able to have them. Just we deploy them to you, and then you will not see any change. You'll see that kind of improvement on. You don't have to do anything, but you see that improvement on performance, on any other things.
Exactly.
All other things, they are the same, right? So that's one of the advantages of having
A SaaS platform.
a SaaS platform versus something that you install yourself, right?
Exactly. And manage and maintain and update, etc.
And manage and maintain and update, because here upgrades are all the time, right? We update our product all the time, and it's a continuous process. It's not a big event, right? Like, oh, we're upgrading the version. There's nothing about that. It's like a continuous process.
Exactly. Okay, so all those changes are happening also while we are doing some changes in the background. So as you said, we are working in changes in our organization so that we can bring you like the maximum value, like in the product, but in other teams. We give you a glimpse of, for example, what are the goals of the DevExp team, what they are doing in open source. We give you some updates on what we are doing in the engineering team. But we are investing in basically all the team that will bring you value. So in our side, it's like 4 main teams. Like we'll not talk about the business team, etc. But what? We have the DevExp and open source team that Angelo was representing.
Why didn't you talk about the business team? Because it's not they're existing as in existing people. That's why they don't want exactly to know about this.
Exactly.
Oh, we can talk about it at some time. Anyway, it's interesting to know about, but I understand the purpose.
And we are out of time too.
And we are out of time.
So you saw
because I love our business and marketing team,
I know.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay.
But it's more like what we are bringing at the moment for you already users, but like DevExp and open source, so improving the kits, improving your overall developer experience, creating content for you. The product and engineering that are here to basically create, as you said, the most relevant features for both devs and for marketing teams without having to do any update of the platform. Like those are rolling out all the time. The education team that is creating documentation, tutorial content, so that when people are creating website with Prismic or you are updating your website with Prismic, you have all the content and the resources needed for that. And the customer success team that is basically helping you in your progress for your project, like explaining your usage if you need more help on that, etc. And so, yeah, go ahead.
I don't know what's next, but I had something I wanted to say.
What does he say?
Maybe you were saying it in the next slide or something. Do you have a next slide?
Say.
So I was like, okay, so we are hiring for these teams, right? We say this is what we said. We are hiring for these teams, and there's so many things that we need to hire, right? Because if you remember, we talked about it a lot of times in the past years, like maybe 2 years ago. We talked a little bit about that somewhere, but as a company, we used to be a company that is, a profitable company. We still are, but that profitable company. So we had a little bit of cash to invest, and it only comes from our revenue, and that was so we could invest only so much for growing and all of that. But now it's a completely different exercise. That exercise was hard and it was interesting. We learned a lot with that exercise. How can we earn and then spend? That was the exercise. It was a fun exercise, actually. Very hard because you have competition and stuff, and you still you need to focus on all these kind of things. And I guess we did it pretty well. Now the exercise is very different. Is that we want to scale the team. We want to be able to release a lot of stuff that our users are asking. So before we had to prioritize so hard. So we didn't have a lot of bandwidth. So we have okay, what's really essential for people. Now it's a completely different story, but we need to prepare for that, right? So get these kind of different tracks in parallel that are working on different sides of the products and the several different sides of the service. That's a big change for us. So first, what we're doing is building these kind of different teams, right?
Exactly.
So the way we're going to do it is we will dedicate a team on a side of the product, right? So we will today we have a team for slice machine, for instance. The role of slice machine is you guys break things into components. This is the role of this team. This team is pretty big today, right? We have how many people? 5?
4 engineers.
Relatively, four engineers, right? So we need basically to get more different people on it. So we need to have QA people in it. We need to have a product manager. Okay, I don't know if you guys work with product managers, and you can see how useful a product manager can be in a team like this. Today, you are managing the product management side.
Yes.
With a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So we need to have this kind of structure, and we need to repeat it in all the other teams, right? So basically in the editor,
in the
and
API, as we discussed it, and in a lot of other elements.
And the writing room, all the different aspects. So this is one of the things that we're doing to be able to scale. Now, of course, this change is going to take us maybe quite a few, maybe a few other months, right, to get this done, to hire the people, and to get this. Luckily, we're in a very good situation. We have so many people that are enthusiasts about joining our journey. They project themselves in our challenge, in the challenge of what we're building. They like the strategy. So that's a good thing. We have a lot of interesting candidates. That's a good news for us, for you, for everyone. We're going into this exercise and we're succeeding into finding the right people that we think that can look like us, fit with our culture, with our way of doing, with our depth of how we want to do things. So we're finding these profiles. This is good news. This is what we've been doing in the last 3 months, and we're starting to have results. So a few other months, I guess, and then we will be able to switch to that other bandwidth. This is very promising, and I wanted also to let you know about it. Now, not only we are working on the product side, that I told a lot about it, but we are working also on the others. So education team to provide with more resources and videos, DevX team, and then we have the customer success. So, to help you out with your project, when you're building projects, to have to make sure that you have contact to the right people in Prismic, all these kind of things. So I guess a lot of good things are happening. So I'm really, I'm so impatient to see things starting rolling, because this phase is a bit static. You're just, you don't see the result yet. You see just the means that are improving. But I'm very happy that we're going through that. So so now we go to the Q&A. That is.
Can I start with the question myself?
Yeah, I mean, we have a few questions here, but go ahead.
Where is the dragon jacket?
Where is the dragon jacket? I was thinking. So, you want me to invent a story, or you want to read a story?
No.
I abandoned it. I abandoned the dragon jacket.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's it. No more dragon jacket. I thought it's taking too much attention. So they're like, okay, no more dragon jacket. It's taking too much attention from other things that are more important. Samuel is saying, The future looks bright. Yes, I feel so. It's a tough period, as I said. I'm spending 80% of my time on hiring. Imagine, like, it's cool because I'm meeting so many interesting people, and like, and my head is like, oh, this is interesting, that person is interesting. I love people, and I love how they're rich and different, but it's very tiring. So, I'm waiting to that time where we'll get back to the rhythm, right? It was a joke about the dragon jacket. I'll get back to it. So let me take a question about, so here we have again Christina. So she gave us more details about the question.
Thank you.
So she told us, Christina, absolutely, reslices. These are helpful. An example of an ongoing task. Good. Thank you for the example. Embeds, for example, still feel clunky. We can only use a URL instead of an HTML with frame size options. Okay. Yeah, this is good. I mean, this is important. I think embeds are very how to say, I don't know. They kind of are hard to deal with by nature because there are so many different actors. So the format is not exactly standard. It's kind of standard. So there are so many different options between things. But I think we have a few solutions that we want to implement. So I guess there's something that will happen there. But, for the meantime, I know that Nick gave you an example, a solution to use HTML in the slice.
I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah, I'm not fan of this, but I will close my eyes and maybe you will do it and I will not see it. But honestly, I don't like HTML because you can't move it around. But I don't know. I mean, maybe reach out to the community. Ask the question on the community forum. Maybe we can provide you with other workarounds until we get back to this. And the thing is that we prototype so many different things for different, but we have solutions for that. And
the thing is that in fact we agree. We agree with you on the fact that embeds are clunky, that embeds are not meeting exactly the needs that most people are doing at the moment. We think it's like rather a workaround what we have at the moment. It's serving some purpose, but we know that a lot of people are just trying to get a specific size, trying to get some, I don't know, an autoplay. If you YouTube putting a timestamp where to start the video, we know all that and we need to improve. And we have ideas on how to improve. So we agree with you. Now it's a matter of going back on what I said, like structuring properly the team so that we can invest properly on those areas,
and then the speed will be something different forever. But the thing is, here you have a responsibility as well. You have a responsibility. It's not only us. So the time we ask you for user research and we want to research about this topic and give us feedback. This is a moment you jump into this and you tell us about what you feel and what you're doing with the embeds, and then when we will do a solution about the embeds, we'll not miss your use case, right? This is very important. So, but again, try to ask in the community if you didn't yet, and I see that you've seen the community, so maybe we can provide you with better workarounds. I see also the usual one that comes, which is number of characters and required fields. Yes, we need to find solutions to that. Let's first structure the team and we'll get to this. And you've been patient. It's time where you can start a countdown, okay? This is the time where you can start a countdown because things are going to happen. We'll have better bandwidth, so we don't have to have that kind of tricky and hard choice that we used to have in the past.
But we'll still have them, but we'll be able to do more. We still have the choice.
Yeah, of course, we'll still have. We'll still have constraints, and we have to do priorities, but we'll have a much bigger bandwidth. I see Christina. Thank you. You guys are great. Well, thank you. There is the team and everyone, and you also helping us with this. So thank you as well. Also get invited for a meeting by your team. I think this will help us establish a healthy way to request further investigation to our developers. This is really cool. I'm very happy you did that. Appreciate the insights and support. So that's what we got, and I don't know if we have other questions. I will wait a little bit to see if we have other questions. Otherwise, we'll sum this up. So.
Okay. How do we go about the winners? What's the process? Okay, so the winners someone will get in touch with you so that you get your sock back.
But how like through YouTube, or how will you get through them? Email. But so I asked them to put their email, or will you be able to email them? How can you enable them? Sorry. If they are users. So if they your users, maybe we can. If but sorry. Yeah, you can DM Prismic through Twitter, and then we can reach out to you. Do you have timing on when to solve will be in place for required fields and character counts?
No, we don't yet.
We don't yet, but I guess
As soon
as I told you, a few months, maybe two, 3, maybe months before when to structure the team. So by the end of the year, we will have a different rhythm, and then these things will certainly come.
Anyway, like we keep this meetup like every month, where we update on what are the plans in the short term. We also communicate on the progress page. So as soon as we have update on that, we know that it's awaited by a lot of people. We'll update you, and I think it will make a lot of people happy.
Yeah. And there are a lot of other things that are happening that we're not talking about, that we are, prototyping and working on. So yeah, we're looking forward to this. So I will meet you in the next meetup, which will be. Can someone share the date with me? I don't know. Let me see. Let me see in my calendar.
The last Wednesday.
Yeah, always it's the last Wednesday of
July.
Of July of the month. So let's see, last Wednesday of July. When is it? It's Wednesday 28th, right? Let me see. July. Yeah, Wednesday 28th. And I'm not off, so that I will be there. So I see you then on Wednesday 28th. We'll send a newsletter as usual, so we remind you of this. And note the feedback and the stuff that you want from us, so that next time we talk about it. If you have anything that you want us to talk about in particular, you can also send us this, and we'll try to take it in, and we'll update you about what's happening, what happened in July, the hiring. Maybe we'll introduce some people. We'll tell you what our plans. Things will get clearer in this month. So happy holidays for those who are taking holidays on July, and
good luck for Sweden people, for Ukrainian people that
that's impressive. Yes, and see you next time. Thank you very much for being here.